see that little intro?
And it's a new intro.
When I hit the live stream there, it said hit live and play intro clip, which I was like, oh, that's a nice little thing.
Wow.
Welcome back. No, we're not just through YouTube this week, Martin. Hopefully you're seeing us through LinkedIn as well. Sorry about last week, guys, for the stream on LinkedIn. Apparently it didn't go through. I'd made a page for it, but apparently the bridge hadn't been connected up. How you doing, mate? Anyway.
I'm good. On a Tuesday. We're here on a Tuesday. Yeah, it feels weird. It feels like the coming up to the end of the week, but it's not. It's like a false sense of hope. Where before it was like, yes, I knew this. We did it Thursday, and then we had one more day left of the week. Now it's like we got 3 more days left.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in earlier in the week. For those of you that have made it live here on Tuesday, we do want to hear from the San Francisco lot. Is this a lot more difficult of a slot for you to achieve, or what exactly is the best sort of way to bring the show to you? We're hoping that Tuesday moving forward is a better day that we can do it on, actually, because then we can have a producer in the background. Hey, we've got Anita tuning in for YouTube. How's it going? And hello, yes, LinkedIn works today. Thanks for letting us know. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, LinkedIn is working. I'm just trying to log into LinkedIn here as well and do it that way.
Finally, we're live through 2 channels again, guys. Sorry about last week. No sound, or is it just me? I hope we do have sound. Let us know if you can hear us. Good to see you both. Thank you very much, Anita.
Anita, you're logging in from New Jersey. Is that correct? Where's everyone coming from? Where is everyone logging in from?
Oh, apparently it starts unmuted. Yeah, starts muted. Just unmute it from the bottom. Got sound now. Great.
Oh, cool,
Thanks for letting us know, Paul. Tuesday's good for Rob. That's good to know. Yeah, for anyone that's tuning in for the first time, basically we are on a different day than we usually are on a Thursday afternoon for us in the UK, but it's often in the morning for our USA viewers. And we're just trying now to have it be that we can do it on a Tuesday and it makes sense for all of us. So yeah, great. Hey, what's going on, Luca?
Hey, Luca.
Sorry if you're seeing the screen move very rapidly. We've got a producer actually adding videos to the backdrop, and it's taking over the screen temporarily. But yeah, kind of funny. We've got a lot of news to talk about this week anyway, mate. And I want to know firstly what you're aware of, and if you're not aware of it, what your reaction is. The biggest one, remember that producer AI tool that I absolutely loved? And then I told you suddenly their terms and conditions meant that you've got 24 hours to save your work. Yeah. And we wondered, is this a lawsuit? What is this? Turns out Google bought them.
Yep. Well, not surprising. I had a feeling that acquisitions were going to happen in the music space. And producer used to be Refuge, wasn't it? It was Refuge.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Refuge really turned producer AI, and then producer AI was kind of like its agentic LLM music generator. So Refuge was much more like Udio, where it was just a normal, like dashboard that you'd add things to, do things to. And producer AI looked much more like ChatGPT. And it was a conversation window, and it was no longer the tool it once was, but it had all of that it was talking to. You were just talking to the LLM, which was talking to the tool in the background. So yeah, they were doing some amazing things and were well ahead of the game. As you say, not that surprising that Google thought to acquire them, because probably as a small team, they were doing the most exciting things.
Yeah, that was a really good platform. I remember you were showing me, you went for a stage where you was just using it predominantly to do instrumentals. And I actually thought that from an instrumental point of view, that was the best tool. I thought it was better than Suno, better than Udio, purely to do instrumentals. So having Google on board, we'll see what happens. Sometimes having a big company on board can be a great thing. Sometimes they're going to ruin it, having a big company. So yeah, let's see what happens here.
Hey, I'm so thankful that you're tuning in at this new time. Thank you so much. Yes, West Coast still getting you tuning in at this time. You are legends of this podcast, you guys. I said,
what time is it? 7? It's 7
yeah, it's got to be dead early in the morning. But yeah, just the diehards, thank you so much for tuning in, even whatever time it is for you locally. We really appreciate it. But yeah, that was the big news I wanted to know about. If you'd known about the Google acquisition, it's all news from Google. You know, Google's introduced also new additions to Google Flow, which is their video platform, which Dave helped create, actually. You know, he did a launch video about how his team had helped, you know, launch some of the features in Google Flow. Looks like they're now massively expanding that to quite a lot more stuff, add more seamless workflows, a simpler way to create videos altogether, apparently, and more natural language prompting and editing, and being a fully integrated sort of suite of stuff. So they have Whisk and other things that we haven't been able to get here in the UK yet because they've been USA only. But Google Whisk is kind of like its own Nano Banana, which is kind of interesting because they obviously released Nano Banana and Nano Banana 2, which is the other big news. Everyone's been talking about Nano Banana 2. It's been kind of insane, actually.
Yeah, I remember going back to Flow. I wonder if it's still geo-blocked. Because every time I've gone to use it, it said you can't use it in this region. So I wonder if it's
exactly the same thing that I was seeing too. Yeah, so not quite sure. Yeah, we've got Nano Banana here, which is being loaded in. So these are some of the examples of Nano Banana 2. I think what we're going to start doing for the best show is to launch the clip with audio and then have us play it with mute and then react to the clip, rewatching it again, mate, just so you know. But in this case, we'll just watch it muted. But yeah, you can see like some of the differences that Nano Banana 2 has added here are quite interesting. It could do a lot more text and stuff like this, infographics, and a lot more highly detailed things.
Yes. Be interesting to have a proper play with it. I've played with it, but not like since it's come out. I've not really had a chance to really sit down and try all different things. So looking forward to trying that one. I have to admit though, I was starting to prefer ChatGPT images than Nano Banana.
Really?
I found that I was getting better results off of ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT's had a very interesting week, so that's another one.
Oh
yeah. But whether I continue using it, I don't know. But it's I actually preferred it for images than Nano Banana. But now let's see what happens with Nano Banana 2.
Well, isn't it funny? Because remember that conversation we had very early in the podcast where we said, when they all start catching up to one another, we'll have our preferences, and it won't be about like, you know, one's better than the other. They'll all be capable of roughly similar things, and it'll just be, where's it bolted on? Now, for us, we realized that we can get free 2K images on FreePic. So it makes total sense to use Nano Banana, FreePic for that type of workflow. And it doesn't even make sense for us to use Gemini to use Nano Banana as the interface now. So again, you come to these conclusions after a long time, like A, which is the tool that I like using best, and B, where's the place to go and use it the most efficiently and effectively, cost effectively, you know?
Yeah, I think that's going to be... the more we start using these AI tools, I can see that, as you said, I can see that being the case. They're all going to be as good as each other for what we would need. So then it's a case of preference, and that preference could be based off of user journey, user experience. It could be based off of ethical reasons, what you believe in the company, you know, the reality,
commercial output viability. I think that's going to be the biggest one. You know, which one gives you the rights of ownership and distribution and all of that.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting space. It's going to be very interesting space.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? Because now everyone's getting their own sort of personal places. I think we're all moving away from the million different AI subscriptions and different interfaces to learn. We've all started to realize that these workspaces exist. One of those workspaces in our industry of advertising has been Figma. You know, Figma is like a giant open canvas, and they've acquired people like Weavy and others. Canva have gone and acquired their tools, and everyone's basically acquiring en masse. Producer AI being one of them, just an LLM for music in Google's case. But yeah, this video here showcases, I think, Figma's stuff. We'll let this one play, shall we? Oh, not sure what's happened to it there. Let me add it back to the stage and see if it can work. No, that video's potentially got some issues with it. Not sure why that's not loading. Maybe Paul can load that one up in the background. But they had a basic like video that they'd launched about like all of the things Figma will be soon able to do now.
Figma's a platform I never used. I know that you guys used it quite a bit. Yeah.
Very big. It was very big in our industry, and the fastest growing too. You know, there's another conversation about software, because software as a general is down at the moment because of the sort of like, I guess, perceived worry of whether or not subscriptions to software will be a big thing in the future with AI agents and all of this. Hard to know, really. We've got people tuning in from the Netherlands. Let's go, Martin.
Hi, Martin.
We're not ignoring you guys. Hey, Tracy, no way. From sunny Scotland. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tracy is one of my favourite former clients, Andrew.
Oh, nice. Where in Scotland? Where in sunny Scotland are you?
Oh, love it. Love it. Love to see Tracy tuning in. Thank you so much.
We've got Gideon from Accra. He's there in the place as well.
Oh, yes, this was another piece of information that I hadn't actually got for the news this week. Thank you, Martin. Grok did indeed extend its image feature and has been really good fun. And I've seen a lot of people talking about this. So, you know, extended scenes. We've seen a few examples of this where it's a lot longer than 10 seconds. And it's basically got that, which is a very useful feature to be able to extend scenes longer and longer and for the continuity to make sense.
Yeah, I think Grok, because of obviously its leader, it gets a bit of a bad rap, and also some of the other things it was doing a few weeks ago. But from the image and videos as a platform, it is pretty strong platform. It is a pretty strong platform.
And its integration, because of its leader, is going to make it stronger, you know, because XAI and Grok and all of this and Elon, it's like the same is true. Actually, I'll just round up the Figma news because I did have some notes on it. I know that video didn't work for us, but it said, starting today, you'll be able to generate Figma design files using Codex. Codex is basically like an MCP Figma server, and this is what I'm seeing a lot, mate, is basically you're going to be able to use code to make design now, you know, like all of these big design tools that are sort of open canvas. Previously you'd have to master the interface, you'd have to know exactly what you were doing in order to get the most out of it. Now you're going to be able to write an agent that will be able to talk to the software on your behalf and start making these things. So it's going to be interesting to see how apps develop that way, because Figma is a great app creator.
Yeah.
Same like Lovable and other places like this.
There's a tool called Quiver which does that. It builds code. It's code it builds, and then you're seeing eventually you'll see the image, and you'll see them do it in real time. So yeah, I think that might be like a standard thing soon.
I agree. And I think people like me, who have never been into coding, vibe coding and all of this is going to be useful, but only to the degree where like you're not launching products, you know, because then you're going to have all the security issues. But what you want to do is vibe code your own little apps, you know, just to solve internal things, like take stuff from here, put it over there, you know, keep an eye on all of this, look at my emails, do this, but you're not releasing it to the world. You're just solving your own little internal issues. That's what agents feel like they're going to be a very useful thing for in the next year, I would say. A lot more of us will be able to subscribe to agents too. We're seeing this open claw one, but the problem is you need a lot of technical know-how to integrate it properly. Otherwise, you could get really badly hacked, and it could go very seriously wrong. So what's going to happen is that companies will release versions of this that you can just subscribe to, and then they'll take some of the, you know, setup issues and stuff like this, and you'll just be able to subscribe to something. But if you have the technical know-how right now, you can buy a Mac Mini, you can set it up on your own, open source, without all of that cost, or waiting for it to become a service that you can subscribe to, and you could get ahead, essentially. And lots of people are, seemingly. But yeah, kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah, I think Mac Minis went out of stock. They sell so many when it comes to this. Well, Perplexity's released Perplexity Computer, which a lot of people are saying it's the cloud version of it with a lot more security.
I heard about that. That's another piece of news that wasn't in the roundup, but that's brilliant. Like Perplexity apparently though makes it so that you have to be on the $200 a month account to access that right now. So the idea is that either that will come down to the more average user on the $20 plan or something like that.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, or someone else. But again, is it going to be the same thing? Like, use my agent. Everyone's going to be wanting this, aren't they? And so, which will be the most useful to us? If I think when Google released theirs, because of how much of the Google suite we use at the moment, theirs would likely be the most useful to us. But it's all about what tools are in your stack and where your connections are and all that, isn't it? Where your email even is. Do you use Gmail? Do you not?
I'm a Gmail person. What are you? You Gmail or Outlook? Yeah.
Gmail, yeah.
What about in the chat? Are you guys Gmail or Outlook? Are you more Gmail or Outlook? I'll be honest, I'm Workspace.
That's a good. Another good question for the chat is just where could be your ideal agent? If any of the tools could release an agent, which one of them would you like it to be? Would it be Adobe? Would it be Apple? Would it be Microsoft? Would it be Google? Would it be ChatGPT? Anthropic? Who exactly would it be? Don't do Claudebot. They found so many plugins and malware backdoors. I've read very, very similar things. And that's why I preempted it with saying, please don't even try this if you're not technical. I've seen one guy, I couldn't believe the YouTube thumbnail, mate. He said, I left my Claudebot open for 8 hours when I went to sleep. And by the time I'd woken up, it had spent $80,000 in going in circles. It got stuck hallucinating on hallucinations, so it just kept going round and round. It got nothing useful for that $80,000. It just, and that wasn't being hacked or anything. That was just, you didn't know how to stop it, and you woke up to this massive bill.
Someone said that as well. I think the woman worked for a big company, and then the guy who created the Clawbot said, because she put it on Twitter or X, he said you just had to put /stop. But by then,
I saw that. Yeah.
I
saw that. Yeah, and she was like the head of security at Meta, wasn't she?
I know she was. Yeah, she was working for a big company, so Meta. But it looks like most of the chat is Gmail users.
Absolutely. And this is the thing, you argued if you own the hardware, you own the place, but if you own the software like the Gmail, then it's going to be the natural integration to a Google agent, isn't it? Because we go much deeper than that. We have Google space, hard drive upload space and Google Cloud space, and there's so much more integration across the Google suite. So it's going to be hard for anyone. And whether or not Google, because this is the problem with agents I foresee, is Google's tools like Gmail might not want to integrate with an outside agent. It might refuse the data or not trust it, or it might be its biggest competitor. So
it could be they could turn around and literally say, if you want to use all of this with if you want to integrate a large language model with Workspace, then you have to use Gemini. You have to use the Google suite. That could potentially be. I doubt they will, just because of how they've always operated. But then again, they've not always operated in the AI space. They've always operated, obviously, stuff outside of AI. So we'll see. We'll see. I know that you can obviously you can connect it to Claude. You can connect it to Perplexity. At the moment, you can connect it to ChatGPT. But we'll see.
So we're going to get into loads of ads and stuff this week. Actually, I should have said at the top of the show, we're having a bit of a pivot of this show in that we love music videos. Like we had Meta Puppet on last week. God, that was a great episode. I couldn't believe how good that music video came out. If you haven't watched it, guys, go back and watch that Meta Puppet episode, because it was incredible to hear his story about it. And short films as well. We've had Dave Clark on and others, but really we're in the advertising and marketing space, and whenever anyone asks us the question, where is all the money in AI, I mean, generally it is in the advertising and marketing space, because it's hard to sort of get your short film made into anything. And music videos, again, it's like you have to work with a big band, and big labels are a bit hesitant, but advertising is just going crazy. Brands of all sizes all around the world now are dipping their toe in to have a go at this. And so yeah, if you're making good ads, or if you're working on spec ads, or if anything like that, start submitting them to us for future show, because that's what we're going to be doing, is just showcasing loads more of the marketing and advertising stuff. And what it also allows us to do is we can have a spin on the news of how it pertains to marketers and advertisers, not just that, you know, Runway's got a new this and that, but Runway can do this, so now you can do this type of advertising, this type of marketing, this type of storytelling. That's the sort of spin that we want to have on these sort of things. And so the next piece that we've got actually is a Runway update, which is why I sort of preempted that, called Character Renderer App.
What if I told you that all of this started with just a simple sketch? Take your sketch, head to Runway, open the character renderer, upload your image, and press generate. Want more control? Click the View Workflow button. Here, you can customize anything. Need a character turnstile? Add some nodes? Done. Want to have a conversation? Done.
You know what? This is actually kind of wild.
Want to see everything in action? Plug in your favorite video model and see everything come alive. While powerful alone, the character renderer is just the start of your next adventure. Start building your first character now with Runway.
I paid you for the antidote.
You cannot handle its power.
Nice little demo vid there, eh?
I thought why I like Runway is that they're just quietly just getting on with it in the background. It doesn't feel like they're panicking. They're just saying, look, we know what our plan is. Let's stick to the plan, stay focused, and we'll be all right. And I just like some of the things that they do, some of the updates. It's very smart. You can tell it's done for video directors. Like they can.
And that's exactly what I was gonna say, is that they don't really, you know, fuss that much over the B2C consumer as much. You know, they're not trying to heavily market it. They know that they're going to be for big film studios and for experts. So they, you know, it's the opposite to Pika Labs' approach when they first came out. Is Pika Labs were like, we can make fun little social gimmicks, and they leaned heavily into that with the Cakeify and the Squash It and that. And then Runway have always done the exact opposite. They've gone, we know you need these tools for your filmmaking and that they're extremely expensive to do it the traditional way, so we're going to work to make it so that you can have tools that aren't so expensive that do similar things. Let's watch it again on stage with mute so that we can actually comment, you know, bit by bit, and I can actually pause it in sections and stuff, because I think this is really interesting, because someone pointed out in the chat, yes, there was a node space thing there, and yes, all of them are having node space things now. You see here, for example, it just did it really, really quickly, but you can see there's an app section now as well, and like templates and stuff within Runway. And as you said, everyone's getting this now. Weevy's got it, FreePik's got it, you know, everyone's getting it. It's it makes sense, doesn't it? You know, to give stuff like out of the gate to people. Also, Runway has other video models in there. Like, everyone's accepting everyone else's tools now. They've got Veo 3 and stuff in here. Some are having some say about it. You know, I believe up until now, Adobe's not allowed Seedance and Kling and some of the more, you know, IP infringing Eastern tools. But the pressure is mounting because they're just getting better and better at stuff that these tools can't do. So if you don't add it in as an option, people will gravitate towards those that have all of those options, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it's good or bad of Runway to admit that they need to have all the other tools in there, but if you're going to offer a node-based workspace, it's dumb to only offer your tools in that node. You know, it's way better to have all the available tools. So that stood out to me initially.
But I think that's a standard thing that so many platforms. It's like I was using Perplexity yesterday, and then you could use Claude within that. You can use like Chat GPT in Perplexity.
Apparently, that Perplexity agent can talk to all known APIs of AI tools.
Yeah.
So it could use all of them on your behalf. Only the
not
ones
even the
like
agent, just the general. Like you can go in the settings and change it to whatever large language.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I think it's going to be a standard thing across most places.
I agree. It's going to have to be you come to board with this, or you just get left behind.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, you can see a lot of stuff that we're sort of familiar with there. The node-based system, exactly there. That looks like it could be FreePic. It looks like it could be Weavy. No, it's Runway. You know, eventually they all had to create this version of a node-based thing because it is so useful to have a system that you can build like this to interconnect tools to, so that you don't need to do it again every single time you start from scratch. That's the thing that I'm starting to learn. But yeah, let's just keep watching through this and see what else they talk about. So yeah, character replacement, avatar replacement. Again, we used to have this thing called LoRAs, didn't we? Where you had to train a LoRA with dozens, if not hundreds of images of a character from different angles. Nowadays, it's not really that complex. You can use a lot more like 1 or 2 reference shots and the character continuity carries through. It's quite amazing, really.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
It looks like it could be an Assassin's Creed game. Or
I was about to say, it looks like a video game that I'm watching.
It's very cool. And that sort of Runway launch trailer to make that, because otherwise you're just looking at really boring platform updates, and that's what you're discussing. Whereas if you've got really nice, here's how it can be used, then it's a nice showcase piece as well. Yeah,
definitely. Big fan of Runway. But I am going to have to...
Oh, yes, mate, you've got to go, haven't you?
I've got to go, but I'll be back in about half an hour, everyone. So enjoy. You're in great hands, and I'll be back shortly.
Hey, thanks so much, Miriam. Yes, I will see you on Thursday. And anybody else that's around the London area, I'm going to be hosting a section of the Bionic Awards. If you don't know about that, I will send a link afterwards. Yes, I will be seeing you on Thursday. Runway is indeed solid, Martin. I agree. And it always has been. It's sort of quietly doing its thing. It was the OG in the space. Now it's suddenly, you know, trying to get back up to grips with the nodes and everything else that all of the others have sort of gone a little bit ahead with. The 4.5 model, image to video, is very solid as well. But the thing that I'm most excited about with Runway is definitely their world model and Google's world model as well. I think world models will be a big change to this year. What else have we got? Number 5, we've had Runway launched. So Canva acquiring Mango AI and Cavalry. If you know anything more about this story in the chat, definitely let us know. Let's unmute this one so that we can watch it together. Always helps when you've got a really good beat to edit it to, doesn't it? But yeah, really nice showcase of what's to come from Canva. Looks like they've acquired 2 big companies, which will lead to specific things with them. I think Mango AI is basically motion design, and they're adding to their creative suite with algorithms and professional grade motion design. Yeah, banger, as Martin said. Yeah, great video. Let's just watch it again with mute, and let's have a look. Just so I can get every single bit of this. Yeah, it's interesting. So it's more of a showcase, just some really nice stuff going on. Yeah, it's just more just showcasing of it, really. That is the bit that I wanted to pause on, actually, is we're going to start seeing a lot more of this, basically, where that looks like an entirely new suite, like a whole workstation to be working with, like a timeline type thing. I think 11 Labs has just introduced this as well as Suno and others, where it's a full-on workstation. Like, digital audio workstations are huge, like Logic Pro and Pro Tools. Then we've got Premiere Pro, and we've got all of the CapCut, we've got After Effects, you know, all of these software suites of tools. It's starting to become more and more complex, but then it's strange because AI is now bleeding back into that territory. We've all been used to dealing with these simple AI interfaces that are more like chatbots, and suddenly they're becoming these huge tools again that look like this. It's just interesting to see. Anyway, yeah, so got some interesting comments coming through. Node and workflows are game changers. It's so much easier to make things, but can be expensive if you accidentally run all. They're definitely more professional, Martin, yes. And as you said, if you're doing things over and over again, like, why reinvent the wheel every single time? You can create a basic, like, virtual try-on workflow node creation tool, for example, and just swap out different clients' work if that's what you use all the time for your client work. But yeah, essentially, if everything you do is different every single time, then nodes will be less useful to you. It's when you have things that you need to do time and time again, or have a bigger team share into it and contribute all into one place as well. Do you think creator tools will become cannibalistic as they cross over between apps, meaning some of the nuances in Runway evolve with other app tools? I think that's a very good question, Mary. Yes, I do. In fact, I think we've already seen evidence of this happening already. Runway actually was so early into the game that their motion brush tool was copied by many people initially because it was so popular as a feature. And now I think that we're going to start seeing stuff from Seedance and their multimodality actually influence the other way around. So now we have this thing called omni-reference, which is basically the way to prompt in Seedance, and there you're able to upload both audio, video and image, and up to multiple of these. You can even take the motion from one video and the design of another video with image references and audio up references, and yeah, it's just setting a new bar essentially, which means that the nuances of apps will have to evolve towards this if it proves to be very popular within that community. So yeah, I think the more unique features these tools add that prove extremely popular with their own little users, the more there'll be demand for it to be brought across to other places and vice versa. Hey Lara, how's it going? Definitely in the teamwork for the node stuff. You know the score, Martin. And I did promise you that we're going to showcase one of your videos on a future episode. We've got a bit of a different show this week where it's more based on advertising and marketing and news, actually, because we'd had such little time to prepare for the show, actually, that we haven't got you in for this week, even though I said, you know, you are definitely going to get a feature with us, so don't worry. What else have we got in the news this week? We have Recraft launching Recraft version 4 Vector. So I'm not sure that we've got a video for this one, actually. I think this is just literally a piece of news. If you've used Recraft before, up to version 4 now, let us know. This is a tool that can do vector graphics and SVG files directly from text to prompt, exporting with refined support for Figma and Illustrator. So if you're someone that works in that type of thing or with that type of tool, let us know. Oh, another thing, Martin, is if you send over your links, we do have a producer now who's actually in the background. Remember how a few weeks ago I tried to download some of the videos you guys were sending during the show and I made it lag really, really badly? Well, I learnt my lesson. I'm not going to do that anymore, but we do have a producer in the back end now, so he is able to download and add things into the back end of the studio if you wanted to send us week to week things, you know. Someone asked earlier as well how to submit stuff to us. You can come directly to me on LinkedIn. My profile's actually open to receiving free email, so even if we're not connected, you should be able to shoot me a message. Also, we have Creative Eyes' own inbox, Creative Eyes being the page that we broadcast through, and our Community AI page. It has its own inbox. Hello, Mark. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Whereabouts are you tuning in from? Let us know. Yes, so let's have a look. What else have we got? I'm going to round up some more of the news. Andrew's going to join us back again after a bit of the news, but we did have a huge amount of news this week. Just kind of crazy, really, because we only were live on Thursday last week, and this is all, you know, happened essentially between Thursday and Tuesday, or a lot of it has anyway, which is just showing how quickly things are moving in this space, honestly. It's kind of frightening to even try to keep up with it. So Seedance, which a lot of people have been talking about, and we're sorry that you don't have access yet. It's been delayed and delayed from the public rollout. Apparently they're building more guardrails, and they're going to make it a little bit more friendly before they put the API out there, and people like us who have access through CapCut or Dramina or other ways, it's kind of annoying because every time we talk about how good this model is, none of you guys are actually able to use it. So it's kind of frustrating. Hello, Frederick from Dubai. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, the news on Seedance is essentially that it is not just a great video model, it essentially can do replacements as well. So we've been looking at some of these examples like we've got on the stage here. Oh, yeah, here we go. So just pausing it quickly, you can see how the object being changed here is the eye. So the reference video is just the normal video that's being added to Seedance. And then within a text prompt, they're using modify eye. So that's able to change the color, change the likeness and look. It looks much more like a snake or whatever. So this is what we mean. It's video Inpainting, essentially. I'll let the rest of the video play out with the audio up, and then I'll rerun it again to comment on it afterwards, but just to give that sort of context. Pretty cool, huh? So yeah, it was unique to Runway actually in their Aleph model to do this video Inpainting for quite some time. Then we saw Luma Labs come out with their version that could modify video. Now we're seeing Seedance come out with their version that can modify video. So, as alluding to someone's comment earlier, we will essentially expect this to be in Veo 4 and other tool updates of the video model Persuasion, because it is very important to be able to do editing and inpainting a video and not just producing of said video. So yeah, I just need to mention there that that one was made by the Curious Refuge team, who, as MetaPuppet was last week, they actually are part of Dave's Promise Studios now. Dave acquired Curious Refuge. Hopefully we'll be doing some collabs with them in the future. But a nice little rundown of some great examples there, curated and created by the Curious Refuge team. Let's watch some of these on mute, shall we? Yeah, I've just... yeah, just getting to grips with all of this. Yeah, let's watch some of these on mute. So I really like the eye. That's such an obvious one, you know. It makes it so obvious what's being changed there. And it shows that the rest of the video looks the same. Because this was the thing that we experienced initially was, oh, it regenerates the whole thing from scratch. It doesn't actually just in-paint the part you want to change. The whole thing was having to change. Whereas this clearly shows that is the same section of the eye. It's just different there. You know, everything else around it looks pretty much spot for on exactly the same. Then we've got one where the clouds have obviously disappeared and they've changed the weather. Now, it does look like there's a slight difference there with the hat and, well, I mean, the difference is that the light's different. So it's kind of insane. If you think about it, like the refraction of the light off of that hat and stuff like that, it would make it look a different color. So it's incredible, really, that these tools are able to, you know, hear a modification like remove all of the clouds and then in-paint all of the light so that it actually makes shadows and stuff different. Although, yeah, the shadow definitely looks like it should be taller on the top image versus the bottom image on the hat, on the back hand side of the hat. But again, we'll let them off because it is kind of insane that this is happening. Again here, when we I actually saw the Curious Refuge breakdown of this one, and some of the things it didn't quite understand. So initially, like the e-scooter, when they tried to get rid of that, they weren't finding that it was understanding that this wasn't an old vehicle. So it was actually replacing the bike and stuff with like a car, but then they had to actually change so that it's in the middle of the road, you can see in the scene below instead of on the path where the top reference video was, because the e-scooter is something that it wasn't being displaced. And again, this is where you point to things like, well, instead of just text prompting this or whatever, maybe you can actually circle that segment of the video, you know, have the motion brush thing that Runway added initially, highlight the area that you want to be scrubbed or changed, because if it's not picking it up through reference alone, then we need to give it more of a manual basis. But yeah, interesting one here. This one, they've obviously asked for the character to be changed out from a bear to a cow, or a cow to a bear, whichever way around you're going around. So yeah, cow to a bear in the sense. The person running behind the animal is the most interesting thing here. You can sort of see that on the reference video, she was running in from the left, but then on the bottom video, you can see clearly that she just suddenly appears from behind the bear. The reflection in the water of this UFO crash landing is the most impressive one. I think that's probably, of all the modified videos, this meatball one where they changed it from asteroids to meatballs was kind of funny, because you could see that the front of the car got splattered with a load of meat as well, and spaghetti. Kind of hilarious stuff, right? And the dragon appearing out of the clouds is probably the one that's going to be used in everybody's short video advertisement and music video, because that just looks epic, to be honest with you. So yeah, some really, really cool examples made there by the Curious Refuge team. Really cool stuff. Okie dokie. What else have we got? What are you guys chatting about? That is absolutely wild. I want to play in this sandbox. Well, when it becomes available, Mary, it will be through Dramina.capcut.com as the actual interface, and it has all of the suite of the CapCut ByteDance Dramina tools. You can actually go there right now, and you'll still be able to play around with 1.5 Seedance and Seedream 5, which is their image model and everything. The only thing you'll be missing from that sandbox essentially is the Seedance 2.0, which is the one that's been shown here on demo, but you will be able to use everything else. The credits are a lot more logical. Actually, I was very impressed with how little Dramina is charging compared to the other ones that work out there. The credit system seems very logical, very affordable, which is great for us that want to make, you know, more things and without using client budget. The cow should really be a hairless cow, like a sphinx cat cow, bear cow, bear cow. That's hilarious. But yeah, it's just great, isn't it? Like, thinking that we can replace any character or object within any scene that we've generated instead of having to regenerate the entire thing and hope to get the same look and feel as the original. Instead, now we can use these generations less like a slot machine and be much more granular and fine-tuning with editing them. What else have we got in the news? So that's it for the news, really. I think that's it. We've got through 45 minutes of news this week, which is absolutely mental, to be honest with you. Like I said, we've only been live on Thursday last week, and all of those new updates came just basically in the last week. So we have got a bunch of ads that we've curated for this week, being that we're doing marketing and advertising. I wanted to save some for when Andrew drops back into the show to get his real reaction, but I will definitely start showing you guys some. Yeah, we have a whole selection of stuff actually to showcase this week. Not as much as we usually would have, but we have got a nice little selection, and we've even got some films and music videos to close out the show. Just some more examples of Seedance, actually. Dave and others have managed to put some stuff together, so we've got all of that to watch. As I said, now you can also submit your stuff to us live, so you can send it through to me or to Paul Parsons, who's actually my co-founder and directing the show in the back end today. We will set up we've got a WhatsApp group, don't we? So you can also put it in that WhatsApp group, and we're hoping to set up a landing page in the near future so that you guys can more easily submit, give us a little bio and a genre and all of your social handles, and then we can easily put you onto the show with full credits, and then even into our YouTube shorts and stuff, hopefully. Okay, so let's have a look at one of the first ads that we've got today. This one is an Adidas campaign. Now, the reason that I've curated this one for the show is not because it's AI, it's actually not AI. But this is one of those pieces that if you don't work in the advertising industry and you're just starting to do spec ads for the first time now, you may not be aware of what's going on in the wider advertising industry. So each week I'm going to be selecting a handful of real ads and a handful of AI ads and a handful of spec ads, this one being one of the real ones. Let's watch it.
Racking my brain trying to piece it all together, trying to remember. Then it all started to come back to me. I knew they were still here somewhere.
Samuel.
You can tell where they've been, can't you? The air still hums where they pass. The ground still remembers the weight they carry. Every mile I drive, every foot that goes by, I see them.
What's in? Where your shoes?
Most folks, they make moments.
Flash a memory.
Gone. But some make movements. They don't just walk through time. They leave it different than they found it.
A tu izquierda. Frío. Frío.
Where are my superstars?
Surprise, huh?
That's how you find them.
Caliente.
Cause some prints show you where they've been.
Caliente.
But these show us where we've always been going. Found the mother superstar!
Brilliant. Hey, there we go, I'm unmuted. That's brilliant, isn't it? Couldn't have picked anyone else better for the superstar range, and that last little line was kind of brilliant. I love the shooting of that, and it just looks so good. What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat what you thought to that. A real, as I said, Adidas ad with the real Samuel L. Jackson. Don't encourage you to use, fake people like this, as in, don't make an AI version of Samuel L. Jackson in your spec ad and stuff. best not to do stuff like that. But yeah, incredible, real advertising that's going on. There's a question here from Frederick, which is a totally unrelated one to the video, about which video models to subscribe to. Higgsfield, Kling, Runway, Weavy. Yes, it's a hard choice. Now, what I will say there, Frederick, is that Weavy is not a video tool. Weavy is just the bootloader to video tools, and others are the same. So you've got foundational models like Kling. They actually are their own video model where you can go and subscribe to use their tool directly. But Kling is also available in Weavy and Higgsfield, actually, and now Runway, I think. So Runway and Kling are like the foundational models that you're discussing there. Higgsfield and Weavy are like places to use these models, and they can be more cost effective if you're trying to use multiple models and create workflows and use node-based applications. So yeah, that's what I would answer in terms of where you are on the fence. You've got a way to think about it. You've got foundational models, you've got Veo, you've got Kling, you've got Runway, you've got other tools like this that have their own tools and now include outside tools as well. Or you've got places which are workspaces like Weavy and FreePick and Higgsfield, which add things extra, but they don't add foundational models, generally speaking, unless they're image ones. I think Higgsfield has Soul and a few other things like this, but certainly it doesn't have its own foundational model, which is competing at the likes of these other ones. So that's one way to think about it when you're thinking about where to use it. Excuse me. I'll give you a very specific client example, actually. So when we were doing a client piece a few months ago now, we had this same issue of where's the best cost-effective way to use video modules for our client work. And at the time, it turned out that actually subscribing to Google's $200 a month plan gave us unlimited access to VO2, which was enough to answer the client brief. So what we would have realized there is if we'd used a third-party tool like Higgsfield, Weavy, or FreePick in order to use VO2, we'd have been limited to how many videos we could have produced for that $200 essentially. And so being that we knew that we needed to make more than what $200 would allow through a third-party source, then going directly to the foundational model and subscribing to the top tier was the best option for us. So I hope that gives you a bit of insight as to the way we think about it when tackling a client project. We'll often think, well, which is the tool we're going to be using to answer this mostly, and do we have unlimited access to that tool, or will we need unlimited access to that tool in order to answer the brief? These are the sort of questions that we'll ask ourselves. But yeah, great question. And we want you guys to get the most out of your money, obviously. So it's important. So now we're in the vibe. We're in the advertising vibe. We just watched a real ad by a massive company with one of the biggest superstars on our planet. Let's start watching some more down-to-earth stuff. And we'll start off with an Olympic spec ad by Eric Young. This one is ByteDance with some human limits. Yeah, let's check it out. Wow. This was super cool. Really nice, sort of like panoramic, cinematic camera work. Yeah, let's watch it again on mute whilst I talk through it. Really cool. Just, I love the black and white aesthetic to it all as well, and this like high expensive, it is a 720 around the athlete there. Super cool, like zoom in, slow motion, 360 panorama, zooming into eyes, zooming through mouths. Just really, really cool stuff. And yeah, the camera work, blimey. It's next level, isn't it? Something that we could have only dreamed about, honestly, 6 months ago in AI video was stuff like this. The transitions as well, really, really smart idea to sort of zoom back through somehow, through the mouth, through the eye. Yeah, through the mouth in that one. This one seemed the least realistic to me because of the things that were sort of falling off of the weightlifter there. But the others, it's just incredible how much more accurate the physics is. Like the biker there, it looks like the clip went in reverse at a little point there. But other than that, guys, like seriously, it was so hard to produce anything that was sports related just because of the physics component and the AI videos just not understanding at all. Andrew and I used to laugh all the time about the boxing because he's really good at boxing and practices a lot, and he knows exactly how it should look and the physics of punches and stuff like this, and football as well. We're both passionate about football, and it's very hard to emulate these physics, but Seedance is definitely coming by far the closest. And yeah, you guys are obviously loving the transitions there, which the transitions between the different athletes was probably the one of the best parts of it for sure. Yeah, really, really cool stuff. Let's watch with some of your comments on. Wish they didn't defy gravity so much, lol. Yeah, that is one of the problems, Mary, is I definitely saw some like extra human, let's say, physics going on there. But for the most part, it's just so much more realistic. That diver as well drives way too far off of the platform rather than it being the reality of them just going straight down. The ski jump one looks really, really cool. I love the idea of like pausing it mid-shot there and then, yeah. But the basketball one, I can remember we tried for so long and they didn't actually get the basketball to go through the hoop there. I did notice. Maybe that was a bit of a cop-out. The basketball definitely missed the dunk. Exactly. I think that's probably just trying so many times to get the ball to look right with the physics of the net and stuff that they just abandoned this altogether, the idea of it being a dunk. But yeah, that's kind of funny. If you know type thing, right? If you know, you know. But yeah, really nice advert. The black and white feel to it was really, really good. The transitions, as you guys have all pointed out, were probably its strongest element. The only things to improve would have been, the overall aesthetic feel of the physics, just more realistic, as you said, it's a bit gravity defying and superhuman. Hey, there you go. He's straight back in, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, sorry about that. Just had to deal with something, but all good. I just
pops out, loving it.
Yeah, I just caught the end of that. What was and the Olympics? Who was that at Spec Ad?
Yeah, Spec Ad, non-official, done by Eric Young. It was Seedance, and it was just showcasing some really nice transitions. Oh, we'll watch it again. Let Paul's loading it up in the background on mute. So yeah, really cool. We saw
slow motion.
Yeah, exactly.
Different angles.
Slow-mo, camera work, zoom-ins, transitions, yeah. Like, it's stacking a lot of really cool stuff up together, isn't it?
This looks like Adidas would have done this advert. This looks like an Adidas ad.
It's funny you say that. I was thinking they've done black and white ads in the past too, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't the one before that I wasn't very impressed with, but this one looks good. The ski was very good, and this one, someone said misses the dunk. Yeah, it started off well, and then it kind of went into random. This was good.
Yeah,
this is good, but I guess the physics of this is pretty straightforward. And I noticed they didn't even attempt to do football. Yeah, this
But
is
that
this is-
motion of the wheel spinning and stuff,
Yeah.
like it does kind of go backwards there for a second, you know, and that's always been its issue with like knowing forwards and backwards in time and stuff. But yeah, like really, really good. As a spec ad, it does everything you want, doesn't it? You sort of captured the feeling, you captured the raw emotion. It's about a current thing. The Olympics is on right now, you know, the Winter Olympics is really big. The only problem with all of this, as we discover when we try to do stuff for WWF, is essentially that the Olympics holds such a strong like thing over their logo that they may not like the idea of a spec ad even being made with the logo on it. But
yeah, of course. Yeah.
that's the only problem with that type of spec work, is a very protective brand logo, but for a great thing, you know.
Yeah.
Really cool, really well put together.
Good idea.
Yeah. So the next one we're going to show is a 1-minute ad made for $10 apparently in CapCut by Alex Patrascu.
Maybe it is. But out here, the dirt doesn't care about speed. It cares about grit. You wake up before the sun does. Not because you have to, but because the road is waiting, and the road, it has a long memory. It remembers every tire load, every promise you made to get it there on time. Gravity. Gravity is a law for most. But for you, it's just a suggestion. When you have enough torque, the ground learns to let go. It's not about the miles behind you. It's about the strength to keep facing the ones ahead. It's an engine that turns over every single time. Build your heritage, 1 mile at a time.
Yeah, so nothing mind-blowing in the storytelling, but, you know, for $10. And can you remember what Meta Puppet said last week about how much more usable content comes out of Seedance than other... This is exactly what he meant. You know, like for $10, he's got a minute's worth of usable clips here that all work together as a thing. So extremely extremely cost efficient, not groundbreaking by any means, but the just like how much this looks like a real Ford video is kind of insane, isn't it? Like,
this is the type of advert that if Ford actually made this and it wasn't a spec ad, I could see Ford getting a bit of a backlash. And what I mean by that is you could have done this without AI. Like the person looked real. Here's the bit where I thought to myself, you could tell us AI, the way the wheel was spinning, the middle bit of the wheel. But this was probably like where people would start complaining, because you were like, okay, yeah, that bit there. People would think this is like they could have just got a real person to do it. That's where, but it's the other stuff that you look at and you think, actually, this is where you can save money. It's all like that B-roll footage of the feet. All it is the foot just walking, or the tire, the dirt, and like all of these things that look really, really good, which you don't need a real person there.
Especially when you think about this specific video, because that would have worked perfect as a hybrid production where you did take someone small, you know, like a small business owner that relies on that truck, and you say, well, instead of having this guy create all of this, you know, the cinematic stuff, we'll just go interview him and get some real footage that we then, as you say, add the AI bits of the truck moving and the other bits. But yeah, I think that's all about the tone, isn't it? Because if Ford really did make that, and they said this is a small business owner and it's not a real person and it's just an AI character, then it's going to come off terribly, because there are loads of small business owners that could do that sort of thing. And again, it's all about how and why you use this stuff with your intent and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think that's the key thing I think brands need to kind of understand. It's the intent. You know, it's not the case that people are against the technology. It's how you've used the technology. And I think that's going to be like more of a challenge to the brands than using the technology itself. It's that
I agree, because they'll try and use it for things that they see their competitors using it for without understanding the backlash. I bet that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Like the last thing you should do right now if you're a fashion brand is displace your models, probably. because that's the way you'll get your biggest online backlash straight away. Whereas if you did it for virtual try-ons or did it for something else, then, you know, far less backlash.
A lot of luxury brands are using AI. I was reading an article, I actually posted it in the WhatsApp group, or was about to post it, and it was luxury brands, or a lot of luxury brands are using AI for the production as well as just like general use of it, like how they can use it for work, etc. CRM systems. They haven't mentioned about the actual models just yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a matter of testing the water. They want to feel the temperature of the room before they start doing it, because I can see them thinking, right, let's use those. Because I don't think you have supermodels like you did back in the 90s, like Cindy Crawford and Naomi Campbell and like all of those. I don't think we have those type of supermodels anymore.
Well, it's the fractionalization of media in general, isn't it? Like, there's no big TV stars anymore. Like, there's no, the people that are most famous that sell out stadiums are YouTubers. People like this. It's nuts. I heard a comedian, actually. This is a funny little bit, right? He was headlining a show in Vegas, and he goes, bro, I couldn't believe it, but right before me, there was an entire stadium full of people for a guy I'd never even heard of. Like, I didn't even know the platform that he was on, and yet there were like 30,000 people, fans there to watch him, and like he just goes, I know I'm getting old, because you know, not only have I never heard of him, but I've never even heard of the platform that he's most known on. It's like, I show speed from Twitch TV is here. You know, you could hear that as an actual sentence, and people go, what? Yeah. I show who from where?
Exactly. But this guy, I actually don't mind I show speed. I actually think he's quite funny. But the type of fans that this guy has is ridiculous.
But it's the live broadcasters, isn't it? It's the people breaking through the new mediums. I think it's fascinating. Like, I've been watching this guy called the Burnt Peanut. I think I told you about him last week, where he's a streamer who basically uses an AI avatar, like, as a peanut, and he's just got his mouth and his eyes that are real. So basically you see this peanut character, and he's brilliant. He plays it so well. It's like Meta Puppet. That's kind of it, you know. He's created this avatar, like this illustration that's, you don't know George, you know Meta Puppet, you know, you know the character he's created, and it's great branding. It's very, very smart. Right, what else have we got to watch this week? We might cut off a little bit early this week, guys, to be honest with you, because we have essentially, you know, not had a full week of gathering stuff. There was so much news to get through that we just had to plow through it. But yeah, we're going to hopefully have a lot more examples for you next week. Actually, I can tell you definitely we'll have a lot more examples next week, because on Thursday I'm actually going to be hosting this Bionic Awards event in London, and I'm actually going to be doing the advertising panel. Nice. So I'm going to be asking the people there if they want to come on the show. So we might get some of the people I meet in London on Thursday actually on next week's live show, which would be really, really cool.
So is the Bionic Awards the guy that used to work, was it at the Evening Standard? He came on the show and he was, that guy.
Yes, exactly. Nice. He's the lead tech editor, and he's done it all personally. You know, him, they've just organised this for the last 6 months, this massive get-together in London as an award show. So it's actually highlighting the best in animation, the best in music videos, the best in advertising, short film. Ikenna's going to be there, you know, who's been on this show, and he's actually going to be on one of the panels with me as well. I'll be moderating and hosting him on the panel, and there'll be loads of people actually that have been featured on this show actually there in person. And
so when is it next week, Thursday or Thursday?
No, 2 days, yeah. 2 days
Okay,
time.
cool, nice, yeah.
If you're able to make it, guys, there are still some public tickets, and you don't need to have been someone that submitted or a judge or anything to attend. It's just you have to be able to get to London, essentially.
Yeah. So, Paul said, I have a client I designed paddle sportswear for. All the models he uses on his website are created by me. Uses AI on a website called Sellerpick. Basically, I describe the model and setting, etc., and I upload the sportswear I design and put them on the model. Very realistic, and the models look real interesting.
Great bit of feedback there.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, paddle,
seller pick
big,
I've not heard of.
Yeah, I can see why. That's a great little niche there. I don't know if it's what it's like in the Costa del Sol, Paul, but I know down in the Costa Blanca it's taken off like crazy.
Well, even I've had paddle 3 times this week, and that's got to be a first for me, because my sister and my mum both told me they tried it, and somebody else I knew shot me a WhatsApp saying, "Have you tried this paddle yet?" And I'm like, "No," but it's definitely rising when 3 people I know are telling me in the UK, because it's not even good weather. So.
So Andy Gascoigne, he said, do you think AI art production has been accepted yet? There's some amazing videos around, but then you see SFX specialists posting up, calling it AI slop. Is this AI discrimination? Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be insulted, yes, Andy, because they're now stepping on their territory.
Yeah.
So special effects, video effects, it's now in the motion design special effects era, I would say. We've been in the art, in image era, and the basic video era, but not really in the special effects territory until Seedance, I would argue, is the first really, like, amazing special effects creator. The intro graphic that we actually created for this show was created with Seedance. So if you've been watching since the very start, you can see some of its capabilities just there. It's kind of insane.
Any chance we can play that again?
Good question. I don't think so, because... Oh, yes, actually, maybe we can. 1 second. So by no means perfect. Obviously, the fire was a little inconsistent. The logo was a little inconsistent. But the fact that came out of like a few goes is kind of bonkers compared to other tools that we'd used in the past, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that was one prompt.
That was one prompt, yep.
Yeah.
As far as I know. I think Paul made that one. But yes, in terms of answering your question then, Andy, directly, it is a bit of AI discrimination, because now they're feeling it personally, and they're going to be upset by the fact that it's stepping in their territory. It isn't yet at the high-end VFX level, but no one expects it to be, you know? Like, we're just really now dipping our toes into this for the first proper time now, so that the fact that it's at where it's at already is enough, and the fact that they're reacting so strongly is enough to tell you it's coming big time for SFX, you know?
Yeah. And what you'll find, though, is that the best people that will use SFX or special effects in AI, they're going to be those guys, because they know what great looks like. So they're the ones that will have an advantage over everyone else. So I can see that them just moving across relatively quickly, to be honest, just because of time it saves and money cost.
We haven't quite renamed the show to WTF yet, Eric, but it was a hilarious suggestion last week, mate, and we might keep it for a future episode, the WTF episode. Hi, John, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in from Ohio. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Did we miss anyone else comments before we move on? No, I think we're all caught up now. Oh, Glenn's just left one. Yeah. But an EFX specialist would be incredible at it. Exactly. That's the point we always make, Glenn. MetaPuppet last week said production was the thing missing from his things, you know? He's very good at writing, he's very good at editing, but the production side of thing was always something he struggled with. Now, production of anything, you know, special effects, normal video, anything, is something that not many, if any of us, will have any experience in, because the tools to be able to do this traditionally are like Cinema 4D and Blender, and they're extremely complex tools. You know, like some of the hardest tools on the market to master. So the fact that these tools are giving us any chance to start playing around with special effects at all is a really big thing, because they're traditionally been to the very, very most talented people in the world with software. You know, they're extremely hard and extremely expensive to create. I've heard that special effects can cost, you know, millions of dollars per second.
Oof,
in the highest budget films. So we're nowhere near that, though. Let's be honest, guys. You know, that level of like high-end Marvel cinema stuff, that's still, however much you're hearing it from Instagram and wherever that people might pretend that we are, let me tell you, we're not. We're grounded in reality here. So
exactly, it's still a very, very long way from that. It's just you're going to see, I think, a lot of the time the small things, because the other thing as well is when you're talking about putting it on a big screen TV or even a cinema screen, you'll notice it because of obviously the quality. It needs to be upscaled quite a lot, so you'll notice that. And there's nothing worse than seeing bad special effects. Like, you just look at it and you think, oh, that's poor. So
it's cringe, isn't it? And you know, we saw some great examples earlier, like a dragon coming out of the cloud and stuff. That would have looked so cringe in any platform prior to that. So now we're at a level where you've just unlocked this new, you know, box of tricks essentially that we didn't have before, that you can pull this off now if you do it well. You prompt it well, you keep rerunning it. You're not going to get it every time, but the amount of usable ones where you're asking Seedance to say, let this dragon burst through these clouds and have a massive flame and it look like, you know, maybe something that could have been in Game of Thrones is kind of wild, to be honest with you. You know,
exactly.
Like, it is kind of wild. But yeah, we got 2 more videos to go through today, guys. Like I said, we're going to probably cut this one a little bit short this week because just didn't have that much to get through, really. And going to get so much more for next week. But yeah, we got more than 2 videos, actually, Paul's telling me in the chat. But yeah. Oh, actually, we've got a ton more videos. Yeah. Maybe I should just shut up and get on with the videos. Let's get on to one called Open Art Ad. So the little premise of this, we built this Open Art studio so that you can stop tool hopping. So this is a platform and a sort of ad that they've made for their own platform in the style of kind of Wes Anderson Grand Budapest Hotel, if you know that. That one just doesn't want to play, it looks like, unfortunately.
That's funny.
Not sure why that's happened.
That reminds me of, imagine if you put in a prompt and you you put in an image and then that was the video it created and you end up losing credits. You'd be so angry. You'd be like, what?
You would be so angry, wouldn't you? Let's see if it's going to work again now. No. Doesn't look like it wants to. Forwarding on the video, no. Oh, that's a shame. We'll leave that one till next week anyway. But yeah, it was a cleverly made thing. And something I want to see more of, actually, is, you know, when a platform like releases new tools and stuff, it's not just a showcase of how those tools work. They actually go and use them and they make something watchable. So yeah, that's basically what that was. And we'll watch it again in future week. Rage flip prompt.
yeah, exactly.
Nice poster.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. We're going from AI live videos to AI art. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Narrations. Great image. You can do that.
All right. Well, let's have a look at the next video then. See if we get any more luck with that one. This one is Orange Christmas Ad by the AI Candy. Let's check it out. Yeah, this one's working.
Was working.
No, it was working. It was working, and now it's stopped working. Let's rewind it. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Maybe keep us on screen, because as soon as you move to us, that's when it went funny.
Yeah.
When we moved to full screen, that's when it went funny.
Video to picture. All right, let's just try adding this one back. No, not sure what's going on with it now.
I have an invitation.
Welcome to the Open Art Hotel.
How may I serve you today, madam?
I really need your help. I'm stuck on a client project and the deadline is today.
Show me your client brief.
I see. This is serious.
For a case like yours, there is only one solution. I am officially checking you in to the... Ta-da! Here you'll find everything you need all in one place.
Oh, sweet!
No time to look around. We've got images to create. Follow hither. The photo booth awaits, my lady. Describe anything you can imagine. A pilot squirrel. Delightful. Oh, yes. Our little pilot needs a plane.
Oh, this is fun!
It's a flying squirrel. Now quickly to the movie theater. I can feel another time card coming. Drop in the frame that you want to animate. Make that squirrel soar, baby. Incredible! Now let's modify the video to put him somewhere else. Oh, the city of love. I'm so excited.
Oh, I love it! But how can I make him dance?
Dance, you say? The floor is yours. First, we'll need a motion reference. Now add the video along with your subject image. Perfect!
Wow, I think it's done.
Oh, let's watch.
It's amazing!
The Open Art Suite does it again!
But we still have an hour before the deadline. What do we do now?
Let's hit the bar.
We went to the photo booth, generated a bunch of images and videos, and completed my project before the deadline.
I love the Open Art Suite. I never want to leave this place.
I really like
so
that.
it did end up playing, and yeah, seeing if we can watch it on mute again whilst it's playing beside us. Not looking like it's gonna work though. Not sure why that is.
I agree with Mary. She said, I love the branded colours in each scene. So sharp. It reminded me of was it the film Pleasantville? There's a film which is very similar to that type of style. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, like I said, it was definitely like Grand Budapest, Wes Anderson sort of style.
Yeah.
But you know, the main character, he actually sounded like, what's he called? Hey, baby, with the what's that movie with the hilarious I forget his name. It's just gone from me. God, you guys will know it though. The reference, the character talking. Yeah, but well done, hey? Like, actually really, really well done. And when we see launch videos like this, that's the sort of expected standard, you know? It's not just, oh, well, look what Open Art can do, or what Love Art, or whatever the hell it was, can do. It's just, you know, how can you make it fun? How can you make it engaging? How can you make it have a storyline and something that's actually watchable? It definitely went on for a bit longer than I was expecting it. You know, that whole last scene I thought could have maybe been chopped out a bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And was this a real ad? As in, like, it was something that they putting out there to promote Open Art?
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers, yeah.
Exactly, Mike Myers. There we go. We got a minute delay with these guys, but yeah, that was a real ad. Like, in terms of, that was a real ad for the company, and whether or not they've used their in-house team to make that, or they've sought someone externally, not exactly sure. I think they probably made it for themselves using their own tools.
Yeah,
which is it makes sense to do that, doesn't it?
Makes sense. But yeah, overall, good one. I'm glad that worked in the end.
Yep. Check out whoever asked this. Sorry that we can't see your name. Austin Powers. That's what I was looking for exactly.
Yeah.
We will send a link to the Open Art video into our WhatsApp group post this, and we'll also be, you know, making more YouTube shorts and stuff, and giving like proper backlinks and stuff. So yeah, we have now Paul in the background actually directing the show. That's why a few of the videos have been a little bit glitchy. So we're trying new ways to do this stuff to bring it to you guys and get you more exposure to who's making all of this. So yeah, keep your eye out for more of that.
Definitely.
What else have we got? So we have a Pizza Hut commercial, again made by the AI Candy guys. So this is the same people that made. Oh, we didn't actually watch the Orange Christmas ad yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about the one that wasn't working afterwards?
Yeah, that was the one that we were going to watch next. Was actually the Orange Christmas ad, and I think what's going to happen. It's going to take us off screen like that, so don't worry. Yeah, just boot us off, Paul, and play the ad again.
I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us.
À Noël, restez vraiment connectés. Et quand vous en avez besoin, Orange est là.
Very well done.
Yeah. Well
Very
done.
well done. So that is by the AI Candy team, and that is an official client work. So the idea there is we watched their piece last week. Remember the Imagen one with the fat Sam Altman?
Yeah. That was good. I saw that a lot of places. Yeah, I saw that.
Mate, it was everywhere. I was telling Paul this in the green room before the show. I was like, they're doing Adore Brothers. They're putting out stuff that's attaching a load of eyeballs, and then they're securing some of the biggest clients in the world.
Yeah.
And they're based in Belgium, and we're going to hopefully have some of the team on in the future. I reached out to them this week to say we're going to showcase a load of their work this week, and we'd love to have you on the show. There's a trio of them in Belgium, and they're now working with like Orange and Pizza Hut and all these clients in Belgium, and it's amazing. That looked like a real ad.
Yeah.
You know, other than the fact that it was a lobster, which, you know, maybe wouldn't be allowed, but yeah. I can hear him.
Yeah, there's my son. All right, cool. Just me and him today, so there's no mummies. A movie. All right. Excuse me, guys. Let me
go and set him up with a movie, mate. Oh, that's so cute. All right, let's watch some more of these AI Candy pieces then, shall we? Yeah, so that first one we watched there was an official Orange hybrid AI film campaign for one of Belgium's largest telecom providers. You may know them from the UK as well, Orange Mobile. They're very, very big. I think they've lesser over here now, but still very big network with a focus on human connection, thanks to the cutting-edge AI lobster. So yeah. Adorable. Love the idea for the video. Great music. Yes, we may get some issues with that. I was thinking, Paul, that's a very, very big song, which is going to maybe flag some copyright issues for our live stream later on. So we may have to replace that one in post or something like that. But yeah, incredibly well done. When does the maid run in? All right. Let's watch some more stuff then. I think this next one is Pizza Hut. Let's check it out.
Een week all-in bij Pizza Hut?
Welcome to Pizza.
Geniet nu elke avond van maandag tot vrijdag van een all-in menu bij Pizza Hut. Voorgerecht, pizza buffet, frisdrank à volonté, plus een dessert. En dat voor slechts €15. All-in weeks bij Pizza Hut.
Le plus grand secret culinaire de Belgique, c'est la pizza Chico.
C'est pas si con.
L'or blanc, avec du jambon et de sauce au fromage. Maintenant chez Pizza Hut. À déguster au restaurant.
Ou sans quitter votre canapé.
Oh, they had multiple ones of them. All right, let's go. Hey, Andrew's back. Let's go. So yes, mate. Basically, that was the same agency. They made 2 back-to-back Pizza Hut ads, it looks like. And the first one certainly looks more around a deal or something, you know, like a lot less storytelling was involved there. And it was more about, you know, just making fun visuals to promote a specific deal, which is what we do a lot in advertising, you know. We could have a client go, look, guys, we're going to do a Black Friday deal. All of a sudden, we need all of this content, you know.
Quand c'est quai culinaire de Belgique, c'est la pizza.
Oh. Hey, there we go. We can watch it on mute. That's nice. So yeah, this one had a much more cool character, didn't it? A very fun character, but it was again around a $7.95 promo or something like that. Both were probably briefs that we would expect to get, you know, as a normal agency working with clients.
So
like
Pizza
this.
Hut put the brief out there.
Yeah, essentially, I assume that they would have either done something before this with them to showcase what they can do, or they'd have said, here's 2 things we want you to make AI videos for, to see what you can do, you know, as a first way of working with them. But I would imagine they'd pitch some concepts first, and then essentially, like, these were the videos that ended up running as the ideas, but it would have been around the idea that they're doing a promo here. There you go, $15, look, kids, all you can eat for $10 or something like that, 10 euros. So that would have been the thing that they want to promote. And then it's like, well, what do you serve? You serve pizza, you serve pasta. We could have a big pasta bowl in the ocean. We could do some AI visuals, make it fun. Or we could go for photorealism as another angle. And I think this is the way to do it. Like floating pizza, you know, like... things that just it's obviously not trying to be real.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
like,
key. I think that's key.
That's
at
key.
this stage, I feel if we can, going back to that one with the lobster and the orange one with the kid and like the lobster cutting his hair, the lobster doing that you can get away with that because it's not real. And I think that
was the only bit that wasn't real. Is that there was a real footage there, but the lobster was the AI part of it.
So it was the real kid.
Yes.
Perfect.
As far as I understand,
those hybrid ones, I think they're going to do really, really well.
I do too.
Yeah, I think I could see there being a big category there. The hybrid using AI to do that, and you won't get that backlash just yet. I think eventually the backlash will go, but right now, this is what I will be looking at: the hybrid areas.
Yeah, I agree. I think like special effects to make that lobster like that would have cost, you know, hundreds of thousands. And AI special effects is going to fill that void in the meantime. And when we've got video inpainting and stuff, that makes that a lot more, you know, actually viable. You can record real footage and just say, have a lobster appear here and have it run up there. And yes, you're going to have to re-roll it quite a few times, but yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really cool to see, isn't it? So yeah, I told those guys that we were going to be showcasing a bunch of their actual client work, because last week we watched the, you know, very fun, viral, popular, everywhere video. It's
like
just,
that one.
Yeah, it's what the Duel brothers have done so well is they just criticize social stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Anything that's going on at the time that may be in the news, they have a viral, funny idea for. They quickly whip it up and get it out there. That produces the tens of millions of eyeballs. That filters down to a dozen or so real conversations with high-end brands that want to do, you know, Orange mobile ads and Pizza Hut ads and nothing at all like what they got found for, but that's how they got their attention.
And what I feel is key is it's not just a case of this is what's popular right now, let's jump on something quickly and put something out with a couple of prompts. There's still thought in it. There's still a story within each thing that they put out. So yes,
they're clearly great storytellers. And actually Hans here, who is working at AI Candy, is hopefully going to be coming on our show in the future. So thank you so much for tuning in, Hans. I really appreciate it. Awesome work, brother. I looked into each one of your LinkedIn profiles earlier when I reached out to connect, and it's clear that you all come from, you know, a decade of doing production and TV and stuff like this, and it really, really shows. It's the same with Meta Puppet last week, mate. Like, you know, 20 years he's been doing all of the elements of making movies except the production part.
Yeah.
He's been writing them, editing them, all of the unthankful jobs. So he knew the piece inside out. When it came to production as well, he just couldn't execute. He knew how it worked, where it worked, when it worked. He knew all of it. He just couldn't actually do it. But now you give him these tools and productions becomes his thing. And yeah, you're getting some love from our community hands. Go and reach out. Eric himself is a legend in the advertising space, as is Glenn, who is watching, and many others. 20 plus years doing some of the biggest advertisements at some of the biggest agencies in the world. Those guys are based in New York, and so they've had the New York agency experience. We've had the UK experience. You guys are crushing it in Belgium. We're going to unite us, guys.
Yeah,
let's go, Jan. Hey, we've got nearly all of them tuning in to watch
nice.
this. Let's go. I'm so glad you got here for this part of the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, we will have you on in a future episode for sure, and we'd love to know the backstory about some of this. And how you deal with client work and stuff, because uniquely, you guys are working with some of the top brands in the world at a small agency, just like us. It's kind of fascinating, isn't it? A lot of people ask us that question as well, is how exactly do you end up working with Coca-Cola and yada, yada, yada? And it's just putting yourself out there, honestly.
It's true. It is true. It's, it's putting yourself out there, being seen, and then, hoping that people will eventually kind of see how good you are. And then take that chance.
I really think their rollout distribution is one of the best I've seen since the Door Brothers, because it has got that like eye-catching, viral, shared everywhere pieces that they're making, and that's what I honestly see. If I think back to my big agency experience, the one thing they never did was treat themselves like a client. Actually give themselves time to make things that could go big and get attention for the agency. No one ever did that. And so it's really smart that you guys are allotting, however much time you are allotting to just producing this wacky, crazy stuff that gets all the eyeballs and the attention, because that will filter down. And it's very, very smart. Yeah, look, 25 years being producer, and exactly. I knew it. You can tell by the standard of the work. Like, anyone that argues that people that have never worked in advertising will be able to make advertising at the same level as someone of 20 plus years of advertising, it's so hard to, agree with that, honestly.
Yeah.
Hey, looking forward to being on the show. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Got tickets to Bionic as well, Martin. Let's go.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying, it's not a straightforward thing. Everyone can be a sports coach while watching it from their couch. You put you in the dugout and then it's like, now manage the team. It's like a completely different thing. Like, everyone's an armchair boxer. It's everyone can do that. It's just having that experience, is so important. And that's what we've said earlier on in the show. That's what we say on a weekly basis. The people who do the best usually have a background in this space, because they know what great looks like. But if you're new to it, try, test, keep on going.
Yeah, just iterate.
You get that experience.
Exactly, mate. And like, we want to be encouraging to the newbies. Don't let me feel like I'm trying to put you off, guys. I want you in here. And honestly, it's where all the money is right now. Like, we're giving you a bit of the inside scoop here, in that these were ads that were really run on TV and stuff. That agency is working with massive brands and doing massive campaigns, and that's truly possible right now. Right, anyway, the next ad, I'm being told by Paul in the chat, is for Nexus Streaming. It's created with LTX Studio. Remember, we talked about them a few months ago, and it's using their own tools. And now, just as a note for this one, Nexus isn't a real company. It's basically Nexus, the streaming company that they've just made up for the purpose of this, to showcase what their tools can do. But just as a little preemptive note, let's watch it.
Weather. Here is the shipping forecast issued by the Meteorological Office at 1400 hours.
Delivery.
Thanks.
Nexus. Bring the extraordinary home. Safely.
I was about to say that's very, very, very good. Very good. I
A
like
lot
that.
happened there in a short amount of time, didn't it?
You know what? All I was hoping was the end bit. I was thinking, bring it home. Have a good strap line. Good take home. And it did. Really
It
good.
did, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, I loved everything about this one. I
Yeah.
loved the tone, I loved the mood, I loved the palette, I loved the CGI characters, you know, the
Yeah.
giant and the little one, and like it all looks so convincing, doesn't it? And LTX Studio
CGI as well?
No,
I mean AI. Sorry.
I'm guessing so, yeah. I'm guessing this is entirely AI produced,
Yeah.
so every single bit of it is just using AI. Yeah. Need to get definite confirmation on that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure she was AI as well. Yeah, look at that, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, fascinating, isn't it? Like that you can really like this isn't one of the bigger known ones. LTX Studio wouldn't even make the top 5 generally, but
Yeah.
it's the biggest in the sort of like open source space and stuff like that. So fascinating that open source is capable of making this.
And I thought,
But
yeah, the end bit here, I think for me it was like bring the extraordinary home and then safely. I thought, yeah, that's it. Just a really,
I also love the fact, and I'm glad Paul reminded me, that this was just a made-up brand. So their brief to themselves was, instead of just showcasing us and whatever, we're going to make up a brand and make a whole ad for this brand that doesn't exist. That's a genuinely genius strategy, I think, to like showcase stuff. And I think it's hybrid, says Hans. So yes, it may be that actually there was some real footage in there, and that maybe the goblin creatures and the, you know, the giant and stuff was the AI.
Yeah, exactly.
That package actually did look very accurate in terms of like the you know, the text and stuff, the address. I don't know though.
So Hans said he thinks it's hybrid. Yeah, he thinks it's hybrid.
But isn't it crazy we're questioning this? Like, Paul actually wrote to me something in the chat before we went, and he goes, I'm 99% sure this one's AI. And then he wrote a screenshot of, yeah, confirmed they've admitted this is AI. But the fact that we're there now, you know, was there real footage in this, or did they just do an excellent job of making the AI character? Because in the Door Brothers one, it turned out it was just an AI character, wasn't it? The woman who was throughout, we saw the character sheet from Jonathan himself, and that was the big question there was, oh, everything looks AI, but the character looked real, so that's got to be real footage, right? And the answer was no. The answer was no, that was AI footage there, 100%.
But I think with that one, because there's so much was happening to her character, I don't think people would mind so much it was AI generated, because she's getting her face burnt, she's getting bitten by like trolls, she's loads of different things. Oh, my son's coming in. Okay. 1 second, Dylan. I'll come in a minute. Yeah, so there's so many things. So I look at this and I'm just like, okay, if this was AI, I don't think people would complain. The other reason why I think it might be AI is because I think something happened to her face and she had a lot of scars. You can see it in a minute. And then when she was starting getting pulled by the octopus, I think she had less scars. So if you look here, she's got quite a lot of scars in a minute.
Right.
And then there she doesn't have
suddenly her face looks normal again. Yeah.
So that might be the reason why.
It's just bonkers that we're having to think, you know, was that a real woman? Was that not? Was that real footage? Was it not? Like, let's say that it is a real woman. Extremely good job of blending it with the AI stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
I was about to say, if that's real,
what they've pulled off incredibly well.
Yeah, they've done that really well.
Really smart stuff. Save the best till last, or some of the best till last day. That was really, really smart stuff. Let's have a look at some other pieces then. We have got some more just random pieces that we had showcased that were sort of like left on Like, that's all of the ads, though, that we had for this week. As we said, we're going to make the show into just that from now on, pretty much. We'll have, like, the occasional music video, the occasional short film, as and when something is so big or by one of our previous guests that it's unignorable, basically. But the main focus of the show week to week will just be on, right, spec ads. What's happening out there, you know? Are you guys working with brands? Are these real ads? You know, and when we say real, are they commissioned? They can be AI generated, but they need to be officially licensed by the brand to be used. Otherwise, there's just a whole world of unofficial spec ads, you know, that we come across all the time, where, like the Olympics one, I'm sure that they've got no idea that there's a black and white video with their logo being used somewhere on the internet, and yet we found it and it was incredibly good. So
Eric said, was it a real client or not? Thought it was real.
No, Nexus is not a real brand. It's just a figment of the team's imagination, I guess, when, you know, because I guess what they would have said is, well, we can't use Netflix, we can't use Amazon, so let's just make our own, you know, but we know that streaming platforms do this type of ad, and so it would be really fun to make this ad if we made up the streaming platform. So, you know, what I'm thinking is that was an excuse to make that type of ad and make it make sense, and that all tied it up together really nicely if you think about it. Right, so talking of what we've got next, we've got some stuff from Paul Trillo. Can you remember Paul? One of our favorite people was the Cloud Dancers. You remember the very early one where it was just, and then we got the behind the scenes like months and months later that we showcased about how that was made. So this looks like Paul's new piece. What happens when you combine live action, miniatures, 3D, VFX, and generative rendering? That's basically what this one's going to showcase. So let's watch it.
AI filmmaking is a lot more than just text prompting. So when Aston Martin and CoreWeave approached us to create their launch film, they wanted something that had never been done before. An AI-assisted film where every frame of the car is physically accurate and every logo is pixel perfect. What made this project so unique is that it combined live action, traditional VFX, and a commercially safe AI video model. Hybrid AI production, designed for maximum control and creative exploration, faster rendering, and uncompromising visual fidelity. We begin the process very traditionally, with hand-drawn boards enhanced with AI. We then animated the storyboards in what we call a genomatic, so we can find the pacing and new types of camera movements. We trained a custom LoRa, using our clean foundational model, Mary, to capture the physics, speed, and dynamics of the Aston Martin F1 vehicle. Because the car needed to be perfect, we fused together the video data with the 3D car model, ensuring accuracy down to every curve, wing, and aero surface. We then began the visual R&D, generating thousands of images of the worlds and styles we wanted to explore. We captured a tactile, realistic motion by shooting miniatures, giving us raw camera movement that felt visceral and in the moment. In addition to miniatures, we also used augmented reality to block the shots. We then did a 3D motion track that became the backbone of every shot. We also built 3D environments and particle simulations to help anchor backgrounds and drive the motion. From there, we moved into keyframe design, spending hours meticulously painting in every detail. We were then able to place the keyframes to exact moments on the timeline. The 3D animation served as a way to connect the dots and generate the in-betweens. This gave us a new pipeline for 3D rendering. We then brought that back into comp, with multiple layers and elements, motion blur, color, and grain, to bring it into a cinematic reality and create a visual cohesion across the shots. This is what is possible when a team of over 25 people bring together live action, traditional VFX, and AI into one seamless process. This is a new kind of fluid filmmaking where infinite worlds are built and creativity has no bounds.
Wow.
Damn, Paul is crazy, isn't he? He's always pushing the limits of what's possible and like aligning technologies. I think that's his real strength, actually. Is he was early on to the Gaussian splat technique and all this other stuff, and obviously now through Asteria Films, he's created this Mary model, which, if you heard him talk about this, is the most commercially safe model in the world, and it's not the most powerful model in the world, but that's because it's all got licensed data in there. You know, it's all fully opted in from filmmakers, so it's a much smaller training data set, but it can be used in these examples. And yeah, to keep the car exactly as needed is exactly what you'd expect from a client like this. You know, it can't be even a slight bit wrong. It needs to be, the logo's in exactly the right place. The car needs to look exactly the right specs. Like, that's what they are. You know, they're a car company, so
makes sense. Model.
Exactly. It would have taken Paul to take this brief and actually be able to answer it to the fullest extent that a client like this would need, because he's aligning technologies that don't really exist together in order to make a specific workflow that works for this. You know, it's kind of insane, really. He's always pioneering new stuff. That's why I think he's so unique in this space, is he just aligns the dots that others can't even comprehend yet, and is able to take a client brief like this and truly answer it, you know?
Yeah, without a doubt. This is, I was about to say, I've not heard from him. When you mentioned his name, I was like, I've not heard of that name for a while. But obviously,
the
in a
thing
way,
is with he got involved in Asteria Films, and then they launched their own foundational models, and each one of his projects is kind of like this. It's so much new that I'm imagining it takes months and months of R&D, you know, to even get something to work, and then you've got to go through the whole actually getting the ad. Once you've, you know, spent most of the budget and time actually just building the pipeline to make this feasible. So these brands are taking, you know, a step further than they would ordinarily, but it's still going to work out at a fraction of the cost, no doubt, of doing that in the traditional way. So it's very, very smart from both, you know, that they've found him and that he's able to do this ahead of what we're able to do, because that's not something that's publicly available. He's just aligning technologies and making unique flows there. Truly impressive, as Glenn says.
Great job.
Like genuinely, the word pioneering is overused, but in Paul's case, I'd say he's one of the true AI pioneers, you know, actually making things that don't even exist yet, whereas we're all just using tools that already exist. Pretty insane. I know that Paul's got a hard stop at 5 o'clock, and I know that you probably do too, mate. And we did have some more videos, so we're just going to crack through whatever else we've got remaining, basically. I know that Dave had a piece of Seedance for an incredible fight scene that was going very viral everywhere. It looked like it was on a, I think it was like a building falling down or something like that. Have we got that one, Paul? Good God.
Wow. For someone, I'm someone who watches a lot of films, and one thing I know about action films, they're always looking for what's that big either opening scene, middle scene, and end scene. And this there is a typical thing where you, if like no one's done a fight scene on a film that I've not seen, where it's on a falling building and the fight scene is intricate as this. But now, all of a sudden, you can make scenes like this happen.
It's exactly what I was thinking too, mate. I was thinking, you know, you'd have to basically be in the top 1% of filmmakers to even pretend that a budget like this would be possible, right? Like, so it's an unlock for all those people that think, well, I won't even write a sequence of action in a falling building with a helicopter and a dive. I won't even bother because I know to pull that off I'll need X, Y, and Z. Right? Now, exactly. you can go, well, what does it look like when I AI generate it? And that is exactly what it could look like.
That's one of my favorite Dave Clark scenes, I think.
I love how I called him. Yeah, like when Rory does demos, Dave does them too. When Seedance comes out and he knows that it's great at fighting and action and physics, he'll push it to a point where this is just a 1-minute clip, right? It's not really a bigger thing. It's not a movie he's planning to make. He's just pushing the model in the direction he knows it does extremely well. But making it more interesting than just infringing on the IP. That's the thing that I think that's the best thing about this video, right? It doesn't look like a Mission Impossible or whatever. It looks like its own thing, but it's still incredible. You don't need Tom Cruise fighting Brad Pitt or whatever. It can just be guys fighting with masks like this and look as incredible. So, yeah, kudos for him not, infringing IP to make that piece, because, yeah.
It's so Mary said it's giving Superman General Zod, Matrix 360 view, and Transformers Michael Bay tone. Definitely agree with that, Mary.
All wrapped into one.
Yeah. It also reminds me, because on James Bond, there's always a big chase scene at the beginning or some fight scene at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing that will be at the beginning of a James Bond film. And then he escapes on the thing, and then the credits will start. Like the opening credits will start. That's a typical James Bond entry to a film.
Yeah, so I think we're only going to get time for one more, guys. I think the other piece that we had was a little bit too long. So I think the last one we're going to finish on is by Roni F. And this one is entitled Women in AI, which is something that I've definitely wanting to be promoting a lot more of. We've talked about it in previous weeks. A little bit of a prologue to this one. Around about a month ago, I woke up at 2 a.m. drenched in sweat, not poetic, quite literal, and realized that since then, I started working deeply with AI in 2022. Almost every day around me in this space is a man. So my feed, men, the tutorials, men, the visionaries, men, and the default AI protagonists, all men. And so when we do generate women, they often obey like beauty standards and look suspiciously like it came from models trained based on the internet, scraped where porn is wildly overrepresented. And I would say that's actually true. In terms of the early Mid-Journey models and stuff we got, the beauty standards were just ridiculous when it came to asking for any type of women and the over-beautification of every generation. So just a bit of a prelogue. I'll shut up and we'll watch this one.
Oh, 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 fresh off the bed, tried out a workflow newly bred. Oh, 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 starving for credits I never get, but I won't quit yet. That rendering path, instead of taking a bath, is like a message from a cloud above. Oh, 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 pulling me out to the 6-finger frames that I love. No. Bot, I can train it well. Oh, 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 shots in my mind know best how to lead this ad that you need. The stats tell me no, but my bank tells me go. Women have mortgages too, Oh, 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 don't make me wait till you've got quotas to validate.
like that one. I have to thank Anita for sending that one to me. She sent me that one, and I was like, yeah, definitely play this on today's show.
So unhinged, and I love it. Yep. And I love the custom song, in the style. Genius to add a custom song.
There was what was that film that Ricky Lake was in back in? I think it was called Hairspray. It reminded me of that. It had that type of vibe. So yeah, I like that one. No women in AI. I love it. Yeah, and even got the Will Smith character as well, like eating spaghetti. I like that.
Yeah, so hard stop for Paul. He's out, and thank you so much for running the show in the background this week, mate. You were very useful. Yes, and guys, that was hilarious, wasn't it? Yes, it's Hairspray, says Anita. Yes, we did change the day to Tuesday. We're going to be changing the day from now on, we think. Probably just because it aligns better in all of our diaries, but this week specifically is because I'm at Bionic on Thursday in London. But yeah, we're thinking Tuesday from now on. If it works for you guys, try and get here for the same 3 till 5. We've got a hard kick out at 5. Like I said, we have to end the show literally at 5 in the future when Paul's here. But yeah, it's going to be much better. I love this too, watching it on the side. So
and then talking about it. Yeah,
talking about it afterwards. So I think that's the sort of new showcase, guys, is we'll watch the piece if it's under 3 minutes all the way through on its own. Then we'll have it muted to the side with a bit of commentary on it. Let us know if you prefer that format. It definitely helps us for the clips and stuff like that in post-production. So yeah.
And it also, we can read your comments on it on the video as well, which goes.
Exactly. And if we don't feature your comments like this one, Lara, just know that it will make for better clips, essentially. But yeah. Hey, Callum, let's go. Thanks for tuning in, man. I've got a piece of yours to show in next week's. Thanks so much for sending it through. One of the best creators doing stuff on Scotland, mate. I'm not going to allude to it too much what it is, but yeah, a really cool piece. Thanks for sending it through. And you guys, if you're around on Thursday in London, let me know. With still some more Bionic tickets available, but they're going very, very rapidly, and it's the last publicly available ones. I'm sorry you can't be there, mate. I'm gutted you're not going to be there, honestly.
Yeah, usually I'm in London. I can usually be in London at that time, but my partner, she's in London at the moment, so I'm here looking after my son. So yeah, usually I would be there.
Yeah, you're the third person. I asked Chris Drury, and he goes, "I'm leaving London right now, mate, and I won't be going back for the next week." And I'm like, I just miss you guys. And I know you go to London all the time, but yeah. And thank you so much for tuning in at 7 a.m. in San Francisco. I really appreciate it, Teresa. It means a lot to us. If it is really difficult for you guys, definitely let us know. But hopefully the rewatch will be very, very more immersive now. We're going to have a lot more YouTube shorts and clips. Also look out for clips going live on Creative Eyes and via my personal LinkedIn profile. Andrew posted one today. Yeah, of Meta Puppet last week. He was amazing, wasn't he? Meta Puppet's the man. Right, anyway, we're all out. I'll let you guys go. Thank you so much. Love the new format, says Teresa. Great. Love it.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good week, and we'll see you next week, Tuesday.
Yeah, see you next week.